broke out in the western suburbs this afternoon. The problems firefighters are facing while trying to put it out.
Also tonight, we're getting closer to the start of President Biden's State of the Union address, the topics he plans to speak about, and why this year's address will look very different from last year's.
And later on tonight, yes, meet him, the Chicago man who just won a Grammy after years of pushing for this new category.
Plus how growing flowers in the basement is built better Chicago.
How beautiful is that? But we've been dog shot on the city's north side.
The SWAT team surrounding a building in Lakeview just within the last 20 minutes. Police announcing this incident is now over. This all happened at 10 block west. Right now.
Rob, we've just learned from Chicago police in the last 5 minutes or so that incident has now come to an end, and the man who they say shot those dogs earlier after is not in police custody. Police say it took them several hours to be able to make contact with that man inside the apartment building. Once they were able to find him, they were able to carry out that investigation. But they say this all began about 1 o'clock this afternoon after there was an argument about unleashed dogs that led to that man shooting dogs right on the street. SWAT teams cleaned the side of a box vehicle rolled down a residential Lakeview street in the middle of the afternoon.
Significant SWAT presence, significant police presence. They've locked down streets.
The fatigue-clad SWAT team appeared to storm a building near Georgia Seminary, being driven by an armed man inside. Police say the massive response was triggered by a dispute over unleashed dogs. They say a woman had been walking 2 dogs off a leash that approached a man. As police say the dog followed him around the corner, he pulled out a gun.
Guy shot people's dogs. He shot 2 dogs over there? 2 dogs?
After he ran into a nearby building, apparently still armed, by Harriet Tubman Elementary, immediately locked young students inside.
Yeah, it's hard. I live close enough to be this. Okay, while you don't know until you have the kids.
Hours later, police still had neighborhood streets blocked off, leaving dog owners weaving through police barricades and shaken by the details of the afternoon ordeal.
It's extremely exciting, and it's kind of scary to be out with my dog right now, so I'm trying to find my way home.
Chicago police had told over several hours that there was never any threat to the public. They told us when they were finally able to make contact with that man just a little while ago inside his apartment building a few blocks from here, they learned that he has a valid firearm owner identification card, a valid concealed carry license, so he was legally able to have that gun. Apparently, police say he also told them he felt threatened by those dogs, and it is against the ordinance here in the city of Chicago to have dogs off a leash. That man is not in custody, and that dog who was injured in the ordeal is now being treated at a nearby hospital. So a sad, a bizarre, and confusing ordeal that's played out over the last several hours here in Lakeview. Robin Cheryl.
Yeah, Liz with a lot of new information sorting it out for us. We appreciate the live update here at 7. Here's more breaking news. Let's update the fire at Geneva business is out. No one was hurt. The fire chief says there was a chemical fire in a storage facility.
All the fires have to check the chemicals inside to make sure they're not water reactive. In this case, they aren't. So we could use water. Had it been water reactive, we might have to use other extinguishing agents to put it out other than water.
Yeah, and other agencies on hand. It doesn't appear that there hasn't been determined. Now we're waiting for President Biden's second State of the Union address as we get a live look at Capitol Hill tonight. This time around, President Biden facing a split Congress. Republicans took the majority in the House in the midterm election.
And a new poll out tonight shows that many Americans are unhappy with the state of the country right now. ABC's Ike Kachi joining us live tonight from Capitol Hill for us. Ike, what's the latest there? Good evening.
Good evening, Rob. Good evening, Cheryl. President Biden, he's expected to emphasize his unity agenda. The administration feels both Democrats and Republicans come together, especially hyper-politicized. President Biden reviewing and practicing his speech before he delivers his second State of the Union address to a joint session of Congress and the American people.
He's going to talk about the accomplishments he's made in the last 2 years He's going to talk about how the wages are up, how inflation is finally to the last 6 months. He's going to talk about the record jobs that we have been able to create.
Look for the president to highlight his policy wins over the past year.
Small businesses being created, wages going up, more breathing room for folks.
The president also expected to help job creation since he was elected in more than 50 years. Despite accentuating the positives, Biden will also acknowledge that more work needs to be done. Republicans delivered a pre-buttal ahead of Biden's speech, calling on the president to accept blame for what they call his failed policies.
The state of our union is struggling under the weight of President Biden's far-left extremist agenda.
Among the Democrats and Republicans will be some invited guests: the fan Tyree Nichols, George Floyd, Tamir Rice, Michael Brown, all looking for reforms in law enforcement following the deaths of their loved ones at the hand of police officers.
We can't have another child dying at the hands of the police officers.
Biden's address in the House of Representatives led by Republicans threatening to not raise the limit could result in a government shutdown. That, coupled with growing tensions with China after the U.S. shot a suspected spy balloon. Now, following the president's speech tonight, newly elected Arkansas governor and former White House press secretary under Donald Trump, Sarah Huckabee Sanders, will be delivering the Republican response. Rob?
All right, I thank you for that report tonight. Well, some people from Illinois will be attending the union as special guests tonight.
That includes Rolling Meadows High School.
Would you like to be my guest at the State of the Union?
How about that call? Recognize the voice. It's First Lady Dr. Jill Biden. She met Kate Foley while visiting the school last year.
For me, that big impression on her, and to realize, oh my God, like she remembered me.
She remembered you.
Yeah.
Senator Tammy Duckworth hosting Dr. Aaron King, a gynecologist working in Southern Illinois, 2 times as well.
Great first impression. Can you imagine getting a call from the First Lady of the United States? Well, Congresswoman Robin Kelly also sharing these photos. Chicago Fire Commissioner Nancy Holt is her guest tonight. The Congresswoman says that after losing her son, Nancy Holt turned her pain into action.
An incredible success.
All right.
Quite the story.
Well, the setting tonight will look very different from a year ago when Democrat Nancy Pelosi was sitting behind Biden as the House Speaker.
And Laura, always great to see you. How you doing?
Hi, Laura.
Great to see you guys.
Republican McCarthy, now House Speaker. How could that change things in the chamber tonight, Laura?
Well, it certainly will change the look of things and the cosmetics. You know, in the past, you always had Nancy Pelosi standing behind the president, cheering him on. I don't think you're going to see Kevin McCarthy doing that tonight. There's a lot of tensions, but obviously we have major political differences, Biden and McCarthy. There's also a lot of recent tensions over some issues. So you can see McCarthy may be sitting on his hands a little bit tonight.
Laura, are you hearing anything about what could happen? We're expecting to hear the president talk about Russia, China, violence, the economy, some real important topics that Americans want to hear what he is talking about regarding those issues.
Well, those are all really going to be key issues. He's going to hit on the economy, where he can really out his success. Down inflation, historic lows on unemployment rate, infrastructure bill that he was able to get through in the Democrats. They're all things he's going to want to tout. On the international side, in terms of keeping America safe, to talk about the work that the United States is doing with its allies in Ukraine. He's going to talk about the China balloon incident. The challenge that he's going to have there is Republicans be about that because they're saying the balloon should have been shot down sooner and it was an unnecessary danger to us. He's going to have to try to balance the international and the local. And again, that's what the State of the Union speeches are about. They're about touting your successes.
Ahead of the address, House Speaker Kevin McCarthy had challenged the president to come up with a deal to slash spending. This is something most Americans are very interested in. Do you think the president responds to some of those calls across the aisle?
Well, I think he's going to have to think about that because, as was noted earlier, he's not doing well in the polls. And most Americans do not approve of his handling of the economy, even though he has that laundry list of things that I just explained that he can brag about. So he's going to have to look for ways to try to work with the Republicans. He says he wants to work in a bipartisan way with Congress. The only way he's going to get any legislation through is if he can get it through in a bipartisan fashion, because he does not control the House of Representatives.
Now, Representative Delia Ramirez here from Illinois is going to give not it's called a rebuttal, but a response, and she's celebrating the Working Families Party. Also, Arkansas Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders, former member of the Trump administration, will deliver the Republican response tonight. What do you think she's going to say, and how do you think it's going to be with both of those different responses, if you will?
Well, sure, you really hit it, because we're talking about two diametrically opposed perspectives politically. Delia Ramirez is very much on the left, progressive end of the Democratic Party. She's going to talk about immigration reform. She's going to tout the need for more affordable housing. She's going to talk about her own family's experience as an immigrant. Then you have Sarah Huckabee Sanders, who not only was a member of the Trump administration, but continues to be a very stout supporter of Donald Trump. She's now the newly elected governor of Arkansas. So I think it's both parties are getting a message here. The Democrats are saying that they want to embrace the progressive wing of the party. That's an important part of the party to them. Response is very important to them as well. On the Republican side, Sanders is a conservative Republican. She is not a middle-of-the-road Republican. She's a Trump Republican. So clearly, the party is still in that direction.
One last quick question. Do you expect we had previous when President Obama spoke, someone screamed live, and then they were screaming last year for President Biden's first. I'm sorry, say again, Michelle? Oh, yeah, Terry Pelosi toward the speech when President Trump was there. You expect there's going to be a moment you would think that there'll be some shenanigans.
Given how deeply divided Congress is, given how many people want to score points tonight in front of all those cameras on national television, you're going to see something. There's some Congress people who are, including Mary Miller from downstate Illinois, who are planning on not even showing up. Right. So you're going to see people who are going to be trying to make statements.
Now, you brought up President Obama. When President Obama was in the White House, Hadiya Pendleton's family, they were there because their daughter had died right after his second inauguration. Tonight, the family of Tyree Nichols will be there. Do you think the George Floyd Justice Act will come up in tonight's speech?
I'm sure that Biden will certainly bring it up. This is something that's very important to the Democratic Party. The sad case of Tyree Nichols has rejuvenated this conversation. And I think this is an appeal to across party lines, because clearly police accountability, police reform is really badly needed in this country.
Laura, we love having you on. It's been too long, number one. And number two, we got a mayoral election coming up. So we're going to we're going to need you to provide some insight for us, your expertise. So join us again, okay?
It's going to be
Thank you for your time. You can watch the State of the Union address newscast on ABC. Right where you're streaming, we'll also carry Republican Respond Talk too.
All right, we're at home as we take a live look outside along the lakefront. The city is all lit up. It's 36 degrees right here on February, what is it, the 7th at 7:13. Not bad, but you got to prepare yourself because strong winds and rain.
Wait, hey, look who it great. You shaved the beard. I did. You look awesome.
Thank you.
He's a handsome man no matter what, but your wife must be thrilled.
Oh, she is.
Daughters?
The daughters, I got a video. Oh, man, it's on Instagram, where my youngest, who had a beard for 2/3 of her life, did not recognize me and got kind of scared and it with me.
Who dat?
It's on my Instagram.
He's so young already, and then you take the beard off. You're like, who is this guy?
So I think I'm going to do the 6 month on, 6 month off thing.
Okay.
It works.
That's what I'm going to do.
Good for your skin. Keeps you in the wear.
Exactly. And of course, and I shave it, and it's raining, right? So, or it's going to rain. So, good timing there. At least it's not going to get all ice filled. 34 degrees instead. The temperature out, for example, in Naperville, the freezing mark. Barely anybody below freezing. A couple of you. Crown Point's at 31, 32 degrees in Yorkville, but most are 34, 35. Even in one case, Joliet sitting at 36 degrees. So it is quite warm for this time of year, warmer than our normal high temperature. As we take a look here through tomorrow's forecast, our temps are still going to be upper 80s to 40s, much like they were here for today. Tomorrow is going to be pretty quiet overall. Not even a single raindrop here during at least the daylight hours. But as we get into the evening and overnight, the rain moves in. And Thursday morning, we could even hear some rumbles of thunder. Inside Chicago, gusts up to 45 miles per hour, almost 60 miles per hour possible in some cases off to the south and west as you get in northwest Indiana. Rainfall totals, we've been talking about this for going on a week almost at this point here. I definitely remember showing the totals at least for the first time on Saturday when I was doing the evening newscast, between about a half and an inch and a half of total rain. That's where the weather models have been the whole time. It's going to be a lot of rain, and there is a little snow potential, but it's far off to the north, kind of on the Wisconsin border. Suburbs could see some slushiness here. It's a quick hit, and then the whole system is out. But in all total, it's a pretty warm one. We'll track it with your full forecast coming up in just a few minutes. Over to you, Cheryl.
All right, Greg, thank you for that. Now to the rescue intensifying tonight in earthquake-ravaged areas of both Turkey and Syria. Total also lost 7.8 magnitude quake has rattled this region here. Now, thousands of buildings have collapsed in the own, making recovery efforts very difficult. Rescue workers from around the world, including the United States, are descending onto the disaster area to help survivors. Rescue crews in Syria sifting through piles of debris, uncovering a young girl. Miraculously, look at that. She is alive. And an entire Syrian family was rescued from the rubble of their home. Turkey's president declaring a 3-month-long state of emergency for part of the country. 45 nations are now taking resources.
In Chicago, people are collecting items to send to those impacted by the earthquake. Michelle reports from Skokie.
I'm essentially standing inside of the garage of an Islamic Educational Institute here in Skokie that has opened its doors to serve as a collection warehouse. What we're looking at right now is a little bit of the organized chaos that is going on in the efforts to sort and box everything that has already been collected. A truck coming a few hours ago to take away what they already have in an effort to get goods to the impacted area as quickly as possible. The desperate search for survivors buried beneath the rubble continues. Nearly 2 days after a 7.8 magnitude earthquake rocked the border between Turkey and Syria, death tolls rising exponentially. Here at home, volunteers at Skokie's Educational Foundation helped sort and box donations that have poured in yesterday. The first truck picked up by the Turkish consulate earlier today.
We are here to show them that we are with them. I know this is not going to relieve their wound, their loss.
Hussein Cholak's family is safe in a different part of Turkey, but some of his loved ones have been impacted.
I had friends told them they are okay, lost their houses, but still fine.
Across the border in Syria, the situation is, if anything, even more desperate. Rebel-controlled war-ravaged region depend on aid coming in Turkey, not their own government, and the borders are temporarily closed. Many of the aid workers already stationed there are now themselves living in camps for the internally displaced.
I moved to this camp because I was living in high building, so all people in Idlib city are ready to return to these buildings.
Dr. Mustafa, a humanitarian nonprofit, he, along with others on the ground, has been delivering aid to local hospitals struggling to provide care with electricity and fuel to power their generators in the cold winter conditions.
It is horrible. Maybe in the next days we think no gas, no fuels, because all of these materials usually we receive it from Turkey.
Now this particular spot will remain open until 8 o'clock tonight. They will be the rest of the week as well. Clothes, coats, blankets, tents, dry food, diapers. Those are the main things that are right now. In Turkey, I'm Michelle Gallardo, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Michelle, thank you for that. Lawyers for Chicago man shot during a robbery in Lake Park, a lawsuit this against the city and police. Dakota Early was shot 3 times, including once in the head. The incident last May was caught on camera. The 19-year-old man has been charged with a crime, and several the robberies. Early lost part of his leg and is still rehabbing from the injuries.
Police officer was killed. Tried to arrest a suspect early this morning. There was a struggle in both the officer and the suspect. City's police chief became emotional speaking about the shooting, saying his quote, heart is heavy.
Of our finest who put on that uniform, put on that badge, went to work last night and paid the ultimate sacrifice.
Police determined whether the officer fired a shot that killed the suspect or if it was self-inflicted.
Chicago's mayoral candidate Paul Vallis responding to his Democratic credentials. Mayor Lightfoot's campaign has released one online that uses Vallis's own words from a 2009 interview. Now, in that ad, he says if he ran for office again, he would run as a Republican.
Talking about an interview I did in 2009, or something that you said could be spliced. I don't know what the question I was responding to.
Well, Vallis said he was probably responding to a hypothetical question.
Blaze Soup is speaking out against a proposed city ordinance. That proposal would require any organization that provides human services to sign a labor peace agreement. Union officials. Soup says the legislation is being rushed through city council. Leaders at Catholic Charities say this could result in higher wages that the archdiocese can't afford.
We have wonderful protections for workers in this state and on the federal laws as well. I share their goals, though, that we want to take better and better care of the people who work with us, who work on the front lines.
When Garza, who supports the legislation, said that Catholic Charities as a religious institution, which at this point is still in a committee.
You can find street vendors across Chicago. Those vendors say their businesses are hurting. Have been and citywide. They struggle with Chicago's licensing requirements. Leah Hope reports. And it worked. That's what Little Village tells us about the response
to morning hours and also more volunteers.
Chicago police cannot confirm a decrease in crime against street vendors. Some communities say more residents being present in the early morning hours when some vendors have robbed has made a difference.
This community groups, violence intervention groups that have worked with office vendors.
They gathered at street vendors at Popular University. The issue was city licensing. Two representatives of the City Department of Business Affairs and Consumer Protection listened to concerns about fines. Current street license that does not allow for preparation on the cart of traditional street foods like elote, freshly cut corn slathered with mayonnaise, cheese, and chilies.
It's an issue throughout the city of Chicago, and that is going to affect low-income families, hardworking low-income families that are already struggling to make ends meet.
Biani Garcia says Mala Morning, which is covered by her license, but the elote fruit Degree students want after school is not.
To street vendors who already have a terrible time with all the incidents of violence, all the difficulties that are faced. So today is the beginning of many things that we are going to have to ensure that we make any amendments.
We simply want to continue providing favors for their customers and providing for their families without fear for their safety or fun in the city. In the Little Village, Leah Hope, ABC.
Preparations are underway for this year's Super Bowl, and people plan to bet money on this. A lot of money, more than ever before.
Okay, well, take care. It's Tim List, the group Chicago Pride. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back on the other side.
Tuesday.
Calm before the storm is coming. Like 48 hours look like this. We had free car wash.
Right. You know what? I've been waiting for that because my car is coated in salt. Great for the paint, I'm sure.
Right. No, but that comes with it. It's not going to be pretty on Thursday.
Doesn't sound like it.
It sounds like it's
Greg's with us again today, so we should just leave our cars. It'll get washed eventually. Right?
It'll get washed, yeah, eventually it will. And it's going to wash a lot of salt off of the road in general here.
Yeah.
We're not talking about just like a sprinkle of rain. We're talking about a downpour of rain for quite some time and perhaps even some rumbles of thunder. That's how hard it's going to rain. And those winds, too, anywhere from 45 to 55 mile per hour gusts in northwest Indiana. That'll be on Thursday. And possibly 60 mile per hour gusts and winds, as you'll see, are not exactly light today. First, I'm starting off futurecasts by, well, actually, temperatures for the day starting at midnight during the overnight hour. So this was early this morning. First thing, temperature in the mid-40s came off in the morning, but very quickly, front temps actually went down. At one point, we were at 47, 48 degrees out in Naperville, down to 37 by 7 o'clock in the morning, 42 degrees in Oakland. Temperatures continued to fall from there. We did a little bump back up here during the late afternoon into the upper 30s, but now falling again back into the lower 30s. So temperature is a little funky today. It's been quite the ride so far. As you look out at Michigan, no ice out there, at least close to us. 35 degrees our temperature in the city and mild north wind. Now, those winds were gusty when that front pushed through and our temperature started to drop. We saw some 40-plus mile per hour gusts. Again, the peak wind gusts for today will pale in gusts on Thursday, where 55, 60 miles per hour is not entirely out of question, even in the city of Chicago. You got 40 miles per hour, and that's notable given the buildings that usually chop the wind up a little bit and at least slow it down some. Satellite and radar, beautiful, crystal clear. There were some clouds there. Nice sunset here just a while ago. Was very few clouds. Cloud only off to our south, and that is a portion, at least, of the system that is tracking our way. Here's Futurecast for tonight and into early tomorrow morning. Again, through the daylight hours of tomorrow, too. Notice temperatures, they'll get back into the 40s, but all we really see are clouds. That system stays off to our south. At 7 o'clock or so in the evening, the rain showers tomorrow night only making it as far north as Champaign. So the main highlights here, again, the heavy rain, the thunder, gust up to 45 miles per hour in the city, 55 miles per hour elsewhere, and a half inch to a full inch of rainfall, possibly wrapping up, as you'll see, as some snow and northern county. So Futurecast, this is midnight as we head into early on Thursday morning. The rainfall really get going and during the morning drive on Thursday. It's going to be coming down. You may even hear some rumbles of thunder, anywhere from a inch to a rain ready by about 7 o'clock in the morning. Then we'll tack on another little bit, potentially getting up to 1.5 inches. The grand totals as you head across Chicagoland, and not only in the city, but also points off to the north, where you could get a little bit of that mixing. That'll be late Thursday evening, possibly into early Friday. We still see a couple of those flurries and meandering around, but we're really talking 2, 3 o'clock in the morning up there. Rainfall effectively done. Weather model. How about the other ones here? They're all basically on the same track, anywhere from 3/4 to about a full inch of total rainfall between the three, the high-res model, the European model, which is pretty good with these sorts of things, and then the American model too. So we got AccuWeather alert, obviously, for Thursday because of that potential. Some snow showers out there on Friday before some lake flurries kind of hang out on our Saturday. I'll send it over to you.
You're standing in front of that alert. Very good.
That's
we
right.
appreciate that.
Good spot to be.
All right, something to arts and make you feel real good. It is making Chicago proud tonight. A mission of kindness. These very special Valentine care kits going to people experiencing homelessness around the West area. The Vision Unlimited Westtown Kindness Team is a group of people with disabilities who help volunteers to put together these kits. They are handwritten cards, brushes, socks, and other gifts to keep you warm. And I always tell people a great gift is a handwritten note. You know,
I'm with you.
That's like so good. I mean,
it is.
You know, to receive that.
And so many people there doing good things to help out some people who need it.
And kindness is contagious, so spread it around.
Hope it
like
brings
it's
a smile
confetti,
to faces, yes.
for sure.
Coming up, Tamron Hall and her life and what it's like to be nominated for an NAACP Image Award next. ABC's own Tamron Hall nominated for an NAACP Image Award. She's up for Outstanding Talk Series, and you have a chance to vote for her.
Sandra Bookman spoke to Tamron about the nomination and what it means to her.
Every single shot matters to me. Every detail matters because people matter and our stories matter.
And as Tamron Hall is part of the secret sauce that made daytime talk show a hit. 4 seasons, 500 plus episodes, and counting. The Emmy Award-winning host believes her background as a journalist is the foundation on which the show rests, enabling her to dig deeper no matter the subject and give her audience, the conversations they crave.
We merge the entertainment and the news in a way that I believe resonates with people.
Hall's ability to get the nation's audience has been recognized recently with an NAACP Image Award nomination, something she says she's grateful for, but also sees as an opportunity to inspire others.
What other nominees and winners of the NAACP awards represent is this hope that you can do these things.
She acknowledges her confidence and drive on display daily comes in part from knowing just how far she's come her own journey.
Graham was born in 1901. He was a sharecropper. His granddaughter makes a living with words. There's never a day that I will be too pressured.
Sandra Bookman, Eyewitness News.
Of course, we are pulling for her because she worked here in Chicago for so many years.
Yeah.
And, you know, her show airs every day at 1 o'clock over on ABC 7.
Right.
So,
yeah, because she's consider her from Chicago.
Right.
She did that show.
And she will tell you that her time spent here really changed the trajectory of her life.
Yeah.
And she went from here, she went to MSNBC and then to the Today Show. She made history on the Today Show as the first African-American woman to host a morning show.
And I remember she came here promoting the show, and Jose did some stuff with her. They went out to the river
with her. Yeah, they had lunch, and they and since she left here, she has her son Moses, who's 3 years old. So she talks about him a lot on the show. So best blessings to her, right? So yeah, voting closes on in case you want to vote, everybody.
A couple more days to do it. Super Bowl betting expected record this year. That's the head. It's a lot of money.
Mind blowing, right? Okay, plus you will need to win a bet to see LeBron James make history, everybody. The amount the tickets are going for. Oh, you thought Beyonce tickets were high. As he approaches the scoring record, you want to be Bill happy.
Plus,
yes.
meet the Grammy winner with Chicago Connection. He worked hard.
Love this story.
Coming up. Did we make our pick? We did. I think we did the day after the championships.
Right.
We're both on the.
We did.
I might have changed my mind.
Oh, really? Okay. I'm not changing my mind all day long. He hurt me all day long.
Right. He's the baller, right? I'm going to go with my homie.
Kindness hurts.
Kindness way.
Mahomes.
Yeah. Oh, we call him my homie.
You do? Okay.
He's our homie. He's my homie.
Okay.
He's 1-1 in the Super Bowl. This is his third one. I don't think he goes 1-2.
Yeah.
And Mr. Hurts will plenty of opportunities.
Jalen has the journey story of inspiration that is more incredible than any story, well, most stories on that field. And we have some Chicago people who are playing in this.
Yeah, there's a lot of stories.
Yeah. So
Super Bowl Sunday is almost here.
Yeah, a lot of people planning to place bets on the game. The American Gaming Association says more than 50 million Americans are planning to bet on the game. They will wager $16 billion. That is more than twice the amount that was expected last year. And sports fans at 84% backing the Eagles, 44% picking the Chiefs. That's really good, though. But it's half and half. That's, well, one of them's going to win, one's going to lose.
Right, most likely. This blows my mind for a few reasons. Sports betting 5-10 years ago wasn't even legal, right? I mean, you could go through other channels or international website. Yeah, right. Well, it depends on the state. So Michelle's saying most bets are illegal. 1 billion. So most of those bets are illegal. They're saying 1 billion legal, and then 15 billion.
16.
Right. Yeah. More and more states are legal. What fascinates me though about this, because I like the sports, you know, and the wager on the sports, is the NFL and the NBA and Major League Baseball embracing gambling in America, because it also brings up some huge concern for gamblers who will become addicted, right? And it will be interesting to see as more states legalize it, what's going to happen to people who really have trouble not wagering, right?
Have to go responsibly.
That's what's, and it's so hard for a lot of people. But I think it's so bad, because I love to watch a game, and you can bet on a coin flip or how long the national anthem's going to. I mean, it's ridiculous what you can bet on these legal sites.
Oh, there's people outside.
Oh, yeah, guys. But it also brings awareness to the fact that all of a sudden these huge sports organizations flip, and it's about money.
Yeah, I mean, the things you can gamble on, that's what we should do a story on in a minute. It is like fascinating, like what food the quarterback winning team, what will they eat first?
The color of the Gatorade that will go on the winning coach.
Right.
Yeah, it's a lot, right? And
what do you think?
I would go lemon on it. Yeah, the green.
I was thinking green. Okay.
Green.
The Eagles, if they win, they're green. Because it's the color. They're green and white.
Right. And then maybe red.
Yellow.
Yeah, whatever the color is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the blue and there's blue, orange, and yellow.
The lemon lime one.
Yeah, it's yellow.
Like a highlighter marker.
Yeah.
Right. That's what I'm going with.
I think they're going to do the frost clear one.
The clear one.
Yeah.
There's a bet.
That's a diet one. That's a diet.
Right.
It's zero. It's zero. Yeah.
I'm sure there's a bet on that. I run the risk, and I know we don't want to yap much. Like, when will an athlete or a ref throw a game, which has happened in the past when it was illegal? And I'm such a
that's assuming it hasn't happened already.
Exactly. And I love sports, and I like to gamble on sports legally. But these are all things I think that are going to become issues as we continue for these huge games.
Yeah.
Right.
$16 billion.
It's a lot. And the NFL is just like, okay.
Yeah.
You want to get a cut.
All right.
All right. So here's a wager. Yeah. You think that LeBron does it tonight?
Tonight, who are they playing? I got to have that information.
Here we go. The record-breaking night potentially in the NBA. The Lakers host Oklahoma City tonight.
Okay, he's at home.
He's at home.
Okay.
LeBron James just 36 points away from passing Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's all-time scoring record. If he doesn't set the record tonight, he gets another chance with the Bucks. When the Bucks head to LA on Thursday. Tickets for the game have been listed for as much as $100,000.
For courtside?
I don't know.
How much are for tonight?
Right, because he could do it. So he needs 96. I'm sorry.
And I think they're going to let him do it.
I don't think so. I wouldn't want to be that
Wait, who
team.
are they playing against tonight?
The Thunder.
Okay,
so
and then the Bucks.
Bucks. Maybe they want it for symbolism because the Bucks won it all 2 years.
That's what I.
If you're an NBA guy, you do not want him to do it against you. Right. It's a competitive thing.
I think that they want to send a message to the Bucks and be like,
there you go. So he averages. I think he's averaging over 30 a game right now. So this is well within his wheelhouse to do tonight. He could easily do it tonight.
Well, the reason we're talking about it here is because the gambling sites have realized that there's a very good over/under on this game, next game, that they can make a bet on.
Which one is the one Thursday is more money being bet?
You can bet whether he'll do it tonight
Right.
or not, how many points he'll have tonight.
Okay.
So you bet
What's the average? Like, I bet your average is like
33, I think.
Oh man,
So
that's 100% of bet.
No,
somewhere.
31. I might be wrong
Yeah,
on that. You have been great at predictions, Cheryl. Does he do it tonight?
I'm trying to get, I got to get more because the symbolism, does this date mean anything to him?
Right.
Does it mean anything to his teammate, Kobe Bryant?
Yeah.
Is there any meaningful, because people do think because it matters. So
He's averaging 30 a game.
all right. So we got to talk about
I think he does it
Chicago.
Thursday.
All right. Thursday. All right. We want to all go Thursday. All right. We'll check Thursday and tomorrow. All right. Well, Chicago native, let's talk about the Grammy Gold. Look at this. His outfit is gorgeous. Jay Ivy won the first Grammy spoken word poetry category. He has spent the past 6 years, everybody, lobbying for this category, for this award. And after that, he won. He told us his love of poetry started at Richmond High School court in suburban Olympia Field. Look at that, when his teacher encouraged him to perform.
I went from this shy kid who had low self-esteem, who felt seeing her, wow, like what was wrong. People like, wow, like I am her.
Yeah, you are heard all the way back here in Chicago. Jay Ivy, of course, his winning album, The Poet Who Sat by the Door. You all know that's a play off the Spook Step for Step. Also featuring John Legend and BJ, the Chicago Kid, and he said he wanted his music to make people feel good. Some really incredible people who are performing on his album. This is his fourth album, and PJ Morton, who is one of the most incredible songwriters and artists, is also that.
You get a Grammy. He's already worked so hard to be successful. You got to make the sky's the limit.
I mean, Chicago, we got so many Grammy. Kanye from Chicago, Common from Chicago. A lot of people come from Chicago winning these awards.
That's
so
great.
spoken word, that's one of my favorite categories. That's what I love to do on the weekends.
Yeah.
Have you ever tried spoken word? Okay. Do you like poetry?
I love poetry. I used to write. Yeah, it's been a long
Like, do you ever write poetry for your wife? See, Valentine's Day, you could do that. Then you could put some music to it, and that would be a gift to the woman who has everything.
It's more, wow. It's more roses, red violets, or blue.
Oh, that.
But I can expand. No,
Beat to it, and then like.
I was telling you a couple of days ago, writing for me is just, it's therapeutic. And, just writing some things. Yeah, it's
well,
worth
look, you could win a Grammy.
Oh,
I mean,
no,
I want to
this
work
guy's-
with. You heard it here first.
He's gifted. He is gifted for
Yeah.
sure.
And
so,
he's determined.
yeah,
So
and congrats to him.
congratulations.
Yeah. Tulips grown in a basement, helping feel better coffee.
Pretty.
And how you can order some
See?
for your Valentine's, Greg.
You know, I've got like 2 coffee table books I occasionally thumb through. Yeah, it's pretty cool. There's no
Poetry in motion.
I barely do the weather. Our temperature tomorrow at 10, and that is really the last time we're hanging around freezing. We're well above it for tomorrow, and that means rain in the forecast Thursday, and a lot of it. We'll take a look at AccuWeather alert day coming up.
An Englewood neighborhood flower shop is trying to start a new Valentine's Day tradition, swapping roses for tulips that are grown literally.
We've had some flower stories this week, and here's another. As Terrell Brown tells us, they're also a great eco-friendly alternative that is simultaneously creating jobs for inner city teens and young adults, helping make us build a better and greener
Englewood. I use what you got. We're a small organization. We're able to grow 18,000 tulips in our basement, over the course of 3 months. So that'd be amazing.
Southside Blooms is an in-house flower shop, sole enterprise that started in 2020. It belongs to the nonprofit Chicago Eco House.
Fully vertically grow flowers. We use our own flowers. We grow our own flowers. So our youth, they come in here. You can learn about floral design. Learn about farming. You can learn about sales, customer service.
Up until now, they relied on wholesalers to keep their youth employed during the winter.
Tulips are going to be easier to grow in the winter than summer flowers, so we're basically just speed press. The tulips start in the rooting room. They stay there for about a month. Then we bring them into here, the grow room. And they bloom into.
Some people might find roses more appropriate than tulips for Valentine's Day. Southside Blooms hopes you'll think outside the box this year.
We're offering something new. These flowers come in all different types of colors. They come in pink, come in red, come in everything that you can think of for roses and more. It gives us a lot of playing room, and so I think it creates a new kind of more real for Chicago.
Locally grown flowers also provide a more sustainable Valentine's Day option. The U.S. imports nearly 80% of all Valentine's Day flowers from overseas. That means they travel thousands of miles to Chicago on refrigerated planes. In 2017, air travel alone produced about 360,000 metric tons of carbon dioxide.
Besides the emissions is the pesticides, the herbicides, the synthetic fertilizers.
The flowers grown at Southside Blooms are not only planet-saving, they're cost-saving too.
We save about 60% compared to if we were to purchase them at the wholesaler. Our flowers are more affordable because we can grow them ourselves. Everybody wins.
This is creating jobs for youth in Chicago. It's creating sustainable flowers, beautiful flowers that are connected to Chicago. If you like flowers, I mean, you don't need to know those things to enjoy these flowers.
They're doing such great stuff there. Thank you to Terrell for putting that piece together. Yes, and you can support Southside Blooms by putting in now.
A week. Okay, tulips wrapped up in recycled newspaper. Well, that starts at $50. You can just head to our website for more information. I love tulips. Oh, I love them.
They're beautiful.
I think I like them better than roses, actually.
Arguable, yeah. I think they're beautiful and they last longer.
They do.
Usually.
Great. Okay. Yeah. Well, let's give her flowers right now because Beyonce, she's sold out. At least for now. The high demand for her Renaissance tour is just ahead. It's the hat for me, the silver hat, if they show that. The world tour. We'll talk about it on the other side of the break. Hey, babe. See ya.
Prepare to learn, friend.
Oh,
yeah, we got a lot
don't
from
have
her.
a lot of time.
Yeah,
so.
the first show, Beyonce's Renaissance tour, has all sold out.
The tour kicking off in Sweden, as we know. Yes, the second concert has been added in Stockholm, just like in Chicago, because of high demand. It's still unclear just how quickly the tickets were snapped up for the May 10th show. Remember, Beyonce had already added the show right here in Chicago, where the tickets went on sale because of the high demand. I know several people bought tickets today.
To the Stockholm?
No, to the Chicago.
I was like,
Chicago got their chance today.
Do you know why that she would start there? Is there any particular reason you think in Sweden?
Sometimes a lot of people start their tours in Europe to get the rehearsals.
To get the bugs right.
Bugs out, and because they're super popular over there, and because of the weather, depending on the weather, it might be warmer there, depending on the time of the year.
Sweden.
Yeah, colder,
I
so
bet the
it might be more comfortable, not be so hot to
phenomenal.
perform because let outdoors, and they check the weather and might not rain as much in May, in Europe.
So that's May. It's in May.
Right, that's in
first
May,
show,
but
and
July here is July 2nd
July.
and 3rd. Yeah, so I know several people. My phone has been blowing up, and I think the excitement is getting the ticket more than going to the concert.
What do you think Beyonce's meteorological consultant makes for those decisions? Right? Like,
you want to make sure she got the whole team. Be part of the posse.
I don't know.
Guys, I'm leaving ABC 7 Chicago to go from Beyonce.
That would be a dream come true. Could I be
you
like
better start working on it.
Yeah,
you got to manifest.
I just put it in the universe. So
I just had Jay Ivey talk about getting a Grammy for spoken word. He got one. You got to manifest your dream.
What could I do for Beyonce? Because I would do the same thing.
You can be her begging person.
Speaking of which,
just look for another body guy.
You could dance. You could hold her microphone.
I hold the microphone down like the steers.
Right. You could
I
hold.
do that.
She likes pickles. You are expert at making pickles.
We got to do weather, but real quick, Chris Bernard, one of our, was watching the show. He's a huge sports fan. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar played for the Milwaukee Bucks.
He's doing it Thursday.
I knew it was some symbolism, you guys. Everything has to have a backstory.
Kareem also played for the Lakers.
Right. So
he was Lou Alcindor then. Is that Lee up there?
Right.
Yeah.
So that's Thursday. We're going for that.
Okay, yeah, I think
because everything matters on the dates and symbolism.
Yeah, we're going Thursday.
What kind of weather is it going to be in
A wild guess.
Better than ours.
Okay, so
Much better.
pretty good. Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Sweden, May 10th.
Sweden, May 10th. I got you. I will make sure I get into the
Are you
extended
going to go, Rob?
deep into
Maybe you could take your wife for Valentine's.
That would
For
be
those
amazing.
Yeah, there you go, Rob. Don't cheap out and just get some random flowers. Like, treat your wife to something. Take a look outside. Oh boy, those are expensive. Get her $10,000, $100,000 lakes tickets for LeBron. I mean, if you cover 35 degrees your temperature with clear skies, southwest winds right now. Our winds are pretty gusty. They were gusty earlier. 43 out in Waukegan as that front blew through, and you may have noticed the temperatures drop off very quickly as that front moved on through. Now we're just hanging out in some pretty nice, clear air. That would be the case here through tonight. Partly cloudy to mostly clear, but the clouds will start slipping in from the south. There they are on Futurecast, and this is through tomorrow at the time. So this is 24 hours for the Futurecast. First, the clouds are definitely there. Temperature in about the mid-30s, and the rain is on our doorstep. And notice I said rain, not snow. It is February after all. You would be excused if you assumed this would be snow by the time it got here, but it's not. It'll be rain. It'll be arriving early Thursday morning. So tomorrow is dry. A little quiet before the storm. Not exactly as warm as today, but also as bracket from the rainfall thunder that goes down Thursday. Rain totals, they're going to be pretty high. From half to a full inch of rain that just hit for the afternoon. A little bit of swap to the north. Get right to this there. There's the snow line. Well toward north, rain sets in. About half of our rain, anywhere from a half to 3/4 of an inch of rainfall, will happen during the morning drive. The second half of the day, again, yes, that taper off, more showery in nature afternoon. But still, I mean, these totals are significant. Anywhere from an inch to an inch and a half of rainfall on the highest end of things. I think the rain will be a little bit lesser to the south. You're also got a lot of wind, especially northwest Indiana. On Thursday, winds, even in the city, they're gust up to 45 miles per hour. Northwest Indiana, they're going to gust up to 55 or even 60 miles per hour. And all the weather models, by the way, are agreeing bunch of rain. This is for Chicago. All three coming in at about to a full inch of total rainfall. 47 degrees will be your temperature there on Thursday with the accurate alert. As we forward out to Valentine's Day, temperatures are looking really splendid. Upper 40s. I even saw some of the weather models for the middle and end of next week. Again, that's past the 7-day, but spitting out 50s, maybe 60 degrees. So that would be pretty wild, right? Over to you guys after a break.
Thanks for joining us, everybody. For Greg